welcome back to Outer Rim Broadcast, episode 3, right, Robert? Episode 3,
Yes,
I believe.
I think it's our. I cannot count to 4, so we're getting in the gray area.
Apparently, I can only count to 2, so
We're getting in the gray area.
yeah, we're gonna have a hard time keeping track in the future. But yeah, welcome back. We are going to be starting off with talking about the finale, Mandalorian season 3. Very good episode. I enjoyed it a lot.
A lot of mixed reviews. I feel like, at least in the Twitter world.
I think it's mainly positive. I think the only negatives that people are talking about is like the overall season rather than the episode itself. You know?
I see. Yeah. What you talked about last week, a little bit.
Yeah.
But now we can more confidently talk because now it's actually a full season.
Yeah, every prediction we made in our last episode did not happen, dude.
It was a little but they kind of baited us. Because Dave was like,
we got baited.
Dave was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a really sad one, or like it's gonna be a shocking one, and nothing happened.
No, you're thinking of Brandon Wayne. Brandon Wayne was
the stunt double.
Yeah, Dave Filoni was just like, yeah, you know, it's an episode.
And it was an episode.
It was an episode, one of the episodes of all time. If I do say so myself.
It absolutely was one of the episodes of all time.
But yeah, we thought it was gonna be sad. That somebody was gonna die. Only person who died was a person that we were okay with dying, which was Moff Gideon.
Was the bad guy.
If he did die, which I think he did.
I think he did too. So I did hear a lot about this as well. A lot of people thought that because his armor / Dark Trooper, whatever, was super strong and advanced and everything, people were like, oh no, he would have been fine. And at first I thought the same thing, but then they did like the little shot with like Grogu protecting him, and he was in that fire for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, now that man shouted in complete pain.
I'm like, yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is kind of lame. This is kind of a lame way for him to die. And then it like kept going, and there was just more and more and more fire.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, okay, yep, there is nothing left of him.
Because it's like, you see Mandalorians fight all the time with their flamethrowers, and they use it against other Mandalorians, and like, if they stay in it for too long, like, that hurts.
Oh yeah.
So an entire explosion like that, like, yeah, that killed him.
And again, this isn't, he had the Beskar alloy and not the pure stuff that Mandos have. So.
And I did see other theories, which I don't believe, about him being one of the clones and not actually the real Gideon.
I did see that too.
And you want to know what the only piece of evidence is?
His
the
mustache.
Main piece of evidence.
His mustache was gone.
Dude.
His mustache was gone.
There is a thing called a razor. You can just shave that thing off. Very simple.
No, but Zach, it messes with the continuity of the whole story. He has to have the mustache, therefore it must be.
The entire Star Wars timeline is just broken because he shaved his mustache. But like he said it himself, like they weren't complete yet. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And where were his force powers if he was a clone?
Gone.
So
they did not exist.
You know what I'm saying? So
they did not exist.
I think he's dead. I hope he's dead too, because I think it was a good way to go. And I think if they keep bringing back too many villains, it's just kind of like kills it.
I think, and obviously with the Palpatine return somehow sort of ordeal, it never ends up well. And I mean, maybe there's like a little snippet where like, oh, there's evidence that he's alive, but we never see him again. I don't know if I'm okay with that either.
The only way I could see him coming back is if it's a clone that comes back.
Like,
but I feel like that would
facility.
undermine. Yeah, but I feel like that would undermine Palpatine's return, because Palpatine's return as a clone was like crazy. So I feel like if Gideon's already done it before, it would be like, you're not special, buddy.
Yeah, so then
you're not special, Palpatine.
So then here's the other thing too, though. Like, I guess in my head makes a lot of sense. Like, do you think that his clone operation was not only for himself, but also as like a proof of concept for Project
I think it was supposed, like, Project Necromancer's doing the same thing, but he was doing his own thing with it. 100%. That's what he
do you think,
this is what I was saying last episode. I was saying to you and Nathan, I was saying like he's selfish. He wants power for himself. And then he even admitted it in this finale. He told Mando, he was like, I wanted to create like the perfect armor, or I can't speak, the perfect army, which is him with force powers. He thinks that's the perfect soldier. Like,
he was so full of himself, dude.
Yeah. And he got beat. He got beat down.
Bound by honor.
And it's like, I'm pretty sure those were the only clones too were in there. And because like you saw how upset he was,
I would think, and I'm pretty sure
shut him down.
I'm pretty sure he also said like you killed all of them or something, or like they didn't even have a chance to breathe or something like that. Like he was not very happy. Like if there was others somewhere, he'd be like, yeah, I could just clone that one.
Mm-hmm.
But he was not very happy. So then here's the other thing too that I kind of realized, like he was a lot more, as like Darth Maul said, bound by honor than like he was before. Do you think he was like taking in the Mandalorian culture a little too much?
What do you mean? He was bound by honor? Because
he always just wanted, no, I'll take him myself. Like,
no, I think that still goes back to the ego thing, in my opinion.
But yeah, but then he's like,
I don't think he was bound by honor.
But he wanted the Darksaber again. He wanted that.
Bro, he tried to shoot an unarmed baby in the season 2 finale.
And that was before though. I'm saying just like in this episode. Bro, he was on swole mode.
Nah, he was on swole mode, but I don't think he was bound by honor. I think what he has been so intrigued with the Mandalorians is literally just like their armor and their like how strong they are.
I feel like him wearing it like got into his head too much and like poisoned him.
He definitely thought like because
he felt like he was one of them.
I'm invincible.
He was like, oh, I'm going to challenge them to hand-to-hand combat because they can't say no. And then tried to do what Maul did to.
Bro was giving Bo-Katan the work though. I won't even lie.
Low-key, he was getting it, but also he had like cybernetic like stuff.
Yeah, man, bro is enhanced.
He was cheating a little bit.
He's literally just like in those robots.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean. He's like in one of those, but stronger. You could hear it too. The pew pew pew, like
like the motorized like.
Bro grabbed the Darksaber in her hand and just crushed it.
Speaking of, you would think that.
Like I got some stuff about that.
I think I know where you're going with this. But first, I feel like that should have been a little harder to do, because like this ancient Mandalorian weapon, I would assume would be made out of Beskar, like pure. You know what I mean?
I mean it is, but I mean,
like, is he that strong? Because like, why didn't he just like crush the helmet?
It wasn't that the metal broke. It's that he was able to bend it enough that the kyber inside the crystal inside it was broken. Well, wait,
the crystal didn't break. He just broke all the electronics.
I don't think the Darksaber's made of the kyber crystal.
Stand by. I think it. Stand by.
Yeah, hold on. We're looking this up right now.
I don't know if it's canon anymore, because I don't know if they ever mentioned it in the.
The Darksaber does have a kyber crystal.
Yes, I would think it would. What else are they going to use? Because he was a I mean, Tar Vizsla was a Jedi at the end of the day.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's like black though.
He like spray painted it black. Thought it was cool. I don't think there's a canon story behind it, because remember, like, kyber was like the Disney canon thing, and they haven't obviously haven't like done anything with that as far as I know.
Have you heard the theory? This is like kind of diving off topic a little bit, but have you heard the theory about lightsabers and that you know how like sometimes lightsabers kind of cut straight like through something, and then other times it kind of like just kind of slashes by it. Yeah, and so I heard a theory, and it makes sense if you look at the Darksaber, that there's actually a sharp edge on lightsabers. that you just can't see just because of how the light on it is,
Just 'cause it's
and that
too bright.
Jedis just know where that is at all times, and that would make sense because with the darksaber, the reason why you can see the sharp edge just because of how the lighting is,
because it's black.
and because it's black. Yeah,
But again, you
can
don't
see
you
where
don't
that sharp
see.
edge is.
But the emitter is also rectangular, and every other lightsaber is not rectangular.
That is a good point, but yeah. So I don't know. It could be like that, but they've never actually like said it. It's a mystical, cool weapon.
There was like
It's not really.
there was
You're
like
not
a
really supposed to
Legends.
think about it too hard.
No, there was like a Legends book or like actually it might be canon, but there was another book that was like the interior of a lightsaber or whatever, and they had like a bunch of stuff like
yeah.
the length, like you could change the length, you could change the intensity.
No, that's
and all that
canon
stuff.
because in
That I know was canon, but the blade end of it, I don't know if it was ever mentioned in there.
Yeah, the length is canon for sure because I'm doing watching season 1 of Rebels right now, which you're supposed to be 2, by the way.
Yeah. I'm watching the
and-
Thrawn. I got like a Thrawn trilogy on audiobook or like audio.
Oh, you're listening to it?
Yeah.
That's like, is it the canon one or the
Yeah. It's
canon one?
it's like Heir to the Empire, and then it goes, I forget what the second one is, and that's Last Command. And I'm on like, so this guy on YouTube like did all of like the comic ones and then put like narration over it, and like has the like comics on top of it. So it's like panning
Right.
through all of them and going through all of them. So maybe it's not the canon one, but either way,
if
a
it's
good
the
thing.
one from 1991, it's
I don't
not
remember
canon.
if it's that one. It's that one,
Is
but
it
then
Heir
it's
to the Empire?
I think, but then there's also 2 others.
'Cause that one's not canon, but the one from 2017 is canon,
Oh yeah, no,
and
not that
it's
one.
written by
It's
the same guy too.
I think it's the Legends one because there was Heir to the Empire or something, and then The Last Command,
Well,
and there was also
the,
a comic. So it must
the
be
Legends
one.
one is a good one to
It's
read
still a
right
good.
now
It's
because
still a great story.
that's what the Thrawn stuff is going to be based off of pretty much. But so back about the Darksaber, I don't think it's gone for good because in the Ahsoka trailer, we see that robot that helped all the
Yes.
younglings build their lightsabers.
That's
and
what I
guess
thought you were
what?
going with. That's what I thought you were going
He
with.
apparently was around when the Darksaber was built. So he's the only person in the world right now who knows how to rebuild the Darksaber.
Yes, I did see
And
that.
he's coming into the Ahsoka show.
Well, because he mentioned
Piece it together, buddy.
he mentioned like in the Clone Wars, obviously building Yoda's lightsaber when he was a youngling, but then like he was like, oh yeah, and he wasn't even like my first whatever, and he wasn't
Exactly.
even my first Jedi Grandmaster or something. So like that man has been around, and I think the Darksaber is only what, like 1,000 years old, something.
Hu Yang.
Yeah, at least 2,000 years before the Clone Wars.
1,000 years of sabers. This man is old. Date created at least 1,000 years before 20 BBY. That's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
1,000. I don't know why I read that as 2,000. But yeah, because that's 100 years before, a couple hundred years before Yoda was born, not even had his lightsaber.
Yeah, so him and Yoda probably knew. He was played by David Tennant, bro. So good.
That was a good episode.
Any reason to get David Tennant back is a dub. But yeah, so I think he's gonna rebuild the Darksaber.
I think so too, but then again, I don't know why it would be in Ahsoka other than like Sabine.
Just to introduce him. Well,
to
'cause
have, like,
I feel like the rumors for season 4 and season 4 has already been written. It came out that or a leak or rumor, I don't remember what it was, but it's about, or it might be confirmed, but it's Din helping that pilot. I forget his name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the New Republic.
But yeah,
pilot.
he's helping him hunt down Imperial remnants.
Yeah.
Which Thrawn is an Imperial remnant. So Mando definitely has a reason to be helping Ahsoka and them find Thrawn and Ezra and stuff. 'Cause he's hunting down the Imperial remnants, and he wants to have Grogu go on adventures and train and stuff like Mandalorians are supposed to. So
and I think there's going to be a pretty substantial time jump from season 3 to season 4. At least me personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna get we're gonna have the Ahsoka show, which takes place during this time, and then maybe Boba Fett season 2.
Has that been confirmed?
I don't think so, but I would assume it probably will happen. But
I would love that.
so there'll probably be at least a few years between the seasons, so it could happen. Season 4 is probably gonna take place after Ahsoka. So that's why, like,
I would think so.
If he's in Ahsoka, he probably will be in it towards the end or something. He probably won't be in it for too long. It'll be him, like, starting to hunt down the remnants. So, yeah. But they're all going to definitely, combine for the movie. The movie's going to be taking down Thrawn for good, probably.
So, well, that movie is... Have they given like a specific time period? Is it like 10, 15, 20?
Kathleen Kennedy said something like it's going to be like at least 6 years down the road
of
IRL
of season 3, I assume, or like the present
no,
state.
like 6 years from right now, like IRL.
No. I know that I know. I was talking about like in Star Wars time. Like
in Star Wars time, probably 6 years.
Valid.
Or so. Maybe 5. Probably 5.
I was just wondering because I'm like
Maybe.
Ahsoka's like what, like 40, 50 something at this
She's in
point.
her 40s, yeah.
She's up there. But
Bo is like late 40s.
Really?
People were saying she was like
young?
70, which is tripping. Yeah, she was. You can kind of tell in Clone Wars that she's definitely like
20.
early 20s.
That's
like
crazy,
for
though.
sure. She's just that cracked.
I guess. Did they ever mention like younger, older sister? I would feel like Satine is definitely the older sister.
Yeah, they said Satine was older. Okay. Yeah. She was Obi-Wan's age.
I figured.
R.I.P. Satine, bro. I'm still surprised they've not mentioned her name. That's kind of correct.
Well, nobody
nobody
like.
I meant to say crazy, but I said correct.
Correct.
So, yeah, I just said correct. So then it was just on my mind when I said crazy. So I was like, great.
Bro might be on that correct. Anyways.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, my thing with Satine is like, Maul and Pre-Vizsla were right. Like she was painted as the enemy at the time. She took away all the
because she took the Mandalorian culture in a completely different path. Because they've always been warriors and stuff, and she was a peacekeeper, peaceful queen and stuff. So they kind of diverged from that warrior path, which is why Death Watch happened, because they wanted to go back to that, and that's why Bo-Katan's ended up becoming part of the Death Watch, because she kind of was on that same wave too, but then she kind of realized that Satine was right, so then she kind of came back.
Well, that's also why she didn't go with Maul, because she felt.
And yeah, she was like, Maul's...
Some part of good, but then she also said, outsider will never rule Mandalore.
Because it's like, Pre-Vizsla was already on a warrior path, but then when Maul beat him and took control, then it was like, this is a crazy warrior path now. Like, he was trying to be a gangster, criminal overlord, and then it was kind of like way too far away from Mandalorian way, and
right. So,
yeah. Very interesting stuff.
No, but I do think that we will see Hu Yang again. Hu Yang.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I mean, he was in the trailer, so. But
I didn't recognize him in the trailer. Sad. I have to rewatch it.
I didn't realize it until the second time I watched it. Like this right here is from the trailer.
Oh, for real? Oh.
Yeah, that's from the trailer. I think he says something too. But yeah, I wonder when Ezra's gonna show up in Ahsoka. I wonder if it's gonna be like in the middle, towards the beginning, towards the end. Like, is that the end goal of the season?
I would think it would be. Well, so what was the timeline from season 2 to end of Rebels? Because there was a time jump at the end of Rebels, and I thought it was like 5 years.
So
which would then match up. Like Ahsoka was in The Mandalorian before she was in Rebels, is what I understood.
So when when Ezra disappears with Thrawn,
Yeah.
that's before A New Hope, and then it cuts to the epilogue.
Yeah. Duh.
And it's after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Okay. We don't know how long after Return of the Jedi though.
Yeah, but here's something to know. In that shot in Rebels, Sabine has short hair. She has kind of like a buzz cut.
Yep, I remember that.
But in the trailer of Ahsoka, she has long hair.
So you think it's before?
So some time might have passed. Yeah. So at the end of I think the end of Rebels is before.
You think end of Rebels is before, and then that short hair.
Yeah, and I think I think her and Sabine started to do stuff, and that's why Ahsoka in Mandalorian season 2 is at that village where that chick is, that warrior who works for Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they kind of like split off to go searching for stuff, and then they're gonna probably come back in Ahsoka and share info and whatever and figure something out and whatnot. So
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense to me.
That makes more sense than what I was thinking. I always think backwards for some reason. I'm like, yeah, that's like a 20-year time jump. There's no way that's possible.
And it definitely wasn't a mistake about the hair. Like, they definitely did that on purpose.
Oh yeah, and
to show that time has passed.
And I saw a tweet today that Dave Filoni wrote every single episode of the Ahsoka show.
Yeah. No, he
obviously it's his character.
He was snapping.
Oh, he always snapping.
That's his child. His interviews are so good to listen to, man. I was listening to all those all his Star Wars Celebration ones, and they did a panel with the Clone Wars cast and everybody there, and he was like getting emotional, talking about how like he carries all of them with him to every project, like they're in his heart and mind when he's doing new projects, because he wouldn't be there without them and stuff like that.
Like, you think about it, and like,
so good.
Clone Wars in 2008 was, pitched as a kid's show, and it was because it was on Cartoon Network, and he took that and was like, he took that, and I don't know if he planned to do this. He probably didn't until like season 7 got approved, or 6, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make this like actually a cohesive story and make this so that, like, when these kids grow up, they're gonna vouch for my director of creative writing or whatever for whoever's gonna own Disney or Star Wars at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's got a plan. He's got a plan for everything.
It's also really cool to hear about all the stories about like what they learned from George Lucas. Like, they were using technology on that show that is just now starting to be like common. Like, George Lucas was on the wave way before everybody.
But he was always like that.
What it was, but yeah, exactly. That man was a genius.
Because I talked about it last episode too, but it was like during the whole AI versus real actor thing. I was like, it's just the technology is not there yet, and he's using this, or he's not using this because Disney's using it, but the spirit of like him is using it as a proof of concept, just like he did with Jar Jar in 1992. The first fully CGI character, first fully CGI like battle or whatever. I mean, that stuff in 1992, 3 took, 5-6 years to make? And that's something that, every movie nowadays has quite a bit of, CGI in it. So, who knows? But anyways.
And he pushed the change from animated shows going from, like, hand-drawn to, like, CG. Like, Clone Wars, when it first came out, like, it was, like, one of the only shows doing that.
Yeah, that's why
the success from that probably kind of pushed everybody else to kind of go in that direction. Which that's a good and bad thing, because some of the hand-drawn shows like Avatar: Last Airbender, that show is beautiful.
Type of
but
style.
then yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, I love that Dave Filoni always has him on set and stuff. He like brings him on. Dave Filoni said George Lucas still like will like give him notes about stuff, and he always takes them to heart. And then I love that George Lucas is also like, he's just so unproblematic. Like, he's just out there chilling, dude, and he just shows up once in a while on set and stuff. Whereas like you got some people like I forget her name, dude. the Harry Potter chick. What was her name?
Which
Like the
actor
creator,
or
the author.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, like her, like how problematic she is. Like it kind of like casts a
Yeah,
very
but
dark
she's
shadow.
like she's funny sometimes.
She just casts a very dark shadow over that series, like where they every project they make is just, it's hard to do just because of her. Whereas in Star Wars, it's carrying on George Lucas's legacy, and
Right.
he loves it all.
I just love, like, speaking of like him being like nonchalant and laid back and whatever, but like there was clips of like them making the prequels and their budget. They were like $1.5 million over budget, and they like just started filming. They weren't even close. They just started filming. They're still in like the studio in London doing like the, like the tiny stuff, and like they're on a phone call with production, and he goes, "Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll find another million or something." And I'm like, dude, how do you just say
He's
that?
like, it's all good.
Like, how do you
so
just
chill.
say
He could
that?
probably talk to investors and be like, "Yeah, I just need like a couple more million. Nothing too big," and they would probably give it to him.
Yeah, because again,
And
it's
like
Star Wars.
they talked about at I think it was this Star Wars Celebration, or maybe it was a different one. I don't remember, but it was they were just talking about like when they were working on Clone Wars, and they would always, like, if they knew George Lucas was coming in one day, they would always try to get there like super early and beat him there, because he would just show up randomly, and he would always be first somehow. And or like one time he wasn't there yet, and they were all like, not really working, they were just kind of like messing around, and then one of them just walked out into the hallway real quick to just do something, and they just saw George Lucas just sitting on a chair just reading a newspaper or something, and then he was like, oh no. They dipped back in, and he was like, guys, George Lucas is here, he's literally in the hallway. They're like, oh my god.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny. Like, he would just show up and just be chilling, like, and he wouldn't like, he wasn't one of those people where like if he was there, y'all had to be there too. It was just like he would just be there, and he'd be like, oh hey guys, like, do your thing, don't worry about me.
That, and like he joined like the Han
So
Shot
cool.
First protests at like whatever celebration that was, or whatever convention that was. Have you seen that video?
What'd you say?
There was like a Han shot first versus Greedo shot first.
Oh yeah,
riot or whatever, and he was like in the middle of it. But he had a T-shirt of it too, I think.
So
Like,
funny.
Well, you can't argue that anymore.
Yeah. But and then Dave Filoni was saying, like, so you know how they're doing Tales of the Jedi season 2?
I am so hyped for that, by the way.
Yeah, Dave Filoni was saying with that show, he was letting some people step up into like directing roles for that show. Yeah, so that because he's been teaching people at Lucasfilm the same way George Lucas taught him, and so it's just like a whole line of a legacy just continuing on. And he was saying he wants to make sure Lucasfilm is taken care of after he's gone, just like George Lucas made sure it was taken care of when
And
he
I
left.
am all for that. I would
So
rather
good.
have a bunch of Dave Filoni / like George Lucas trained people than just them picking up like, oh,
Random
here's
people, yeah.
here's like
Here's this guy.
world famous director,
Exactly.
whatever.
I would rather somebody who hasn't worked on anything but is passionate about Star Wars and everything and can show that they can do it, rather than like you said, a big
they have to
big
prove
names
themselves. They have to
just
show
do
that
it.
they
Mhm.
that they want it enough, because it's when, I mean, the whole story was because he wanted to write it, and now it's because
Exactly.
they can make money, and that's the disconnect. But no,
Yeah,
that'd be
so-
cool. So what? Speaking of Tales of the Jedi, what like actual stories do you think that we'll hear? Do you think we'll hear? I think
don't
we
know.
have to hear more like dark ones, I guess. And there's a lot of dark ones in the last one.
Some
but, like,
people want to see the guy from Fallen Order who ended up on Dathomir. some people
Talon
want his-
Malachor or whatever. Talon
Yeah,
Malachor?
Malicos. Some people want him. Want to have a story with him. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool. I'm down for that. I just
but
don't
yeah, I
know.
really don't know.
It's hard to say who else unless we get
'Cause
like
it was Ahsoka Dooku focused.
Ahsoka, Dooku.
I don't know. It could be like a
Qui-Gon.
Tales of the Sith type of season, but
That's what
I
I'm
don't know.
hoping for. That's what I was thinking of too. I'm like, we're gonna see like another plague.
But they did do that with Dooku, so
Yes and no. I mean, they just showed how like the Jedi Order failed him, and like
I loved
Pushed
seeing
him
him as a
away.
Jedi.
I didn't realize like how close it was. Like how early on it was. I guess late it was that he switched over. Like he was still a Jedi in like Phantom Menace. I guess
Yep.
I didn't put that together.
It's Qui-Gon's death that sends him over.
Hmm.
Qui-Gon's death did so much, dude.
That
It
was
literally
That was
it caused Vader to end up happening. It caused Dooku to end up going over. It basically ensured Palpatine's victory because Qui-Gon was the only Jedi that was probably going to be able to foil that. Palpatine himself was kind of sketched out by Qui-Gon too. That's why he wanted them all to kill him.
Mm-hmm. And Maul was all for it
Qui-Gon's-
too because that was his first Jedi master.
Yeah, exactly.
He killed.
And but because like Anakin needed a father.
Yeah.
Father figure, not a brother. Which Qui-Gon was a father figure to him, and Obi-Wan was a brother to him.
That was one of the like best interview
And Ahsoka
answers
was his sister.
I have ever seen, and that's why she couldn't pull him out either. Like during
Exactly.
Rebels.
That's why like Obi-Wan and Ahsoka both slice off a piece of the mask.
The other
but only
side.
Luke could take it off.
The other side of the mask.
I think this is an interesting thought. People were saying, and I agree with it. Ahsoka could have been the person who could have stopped Anakin from turning, like before he became Vader.
Yeah.
But after he's already Vader, it's only Luke can bring him back at that point.
To be honest, I feel
Even
like it could have
Padme
been.
couldn't.
It could have been almost anybody that wasn't Mace Windu if they pull him out. Anybody that he respected.
Nah, because Padme failed, Obi-Wan failed, everybody failed.
Yeah, but
Yoda
at that point it was
failed.
too late. They needed somebody before.
No, dude. He
before
talked to
left.
Padme. He talked to Padme too before he was Vader. And
But
she
yeah,
couldn't- she couldn't do it.
But Padme was like the person that
That's what I'm
he was
saying.
doing
That's why
everything
only
for.
Ahsoka.
So like that. Okay, yeah, that he.
That's why
definitely
it could have
could've,
only
but-
been Ahsoka, and that's why they like make it so apparent in
Yeah.
Clone Wars, the final season. Every time she misses a chance to talk to him, they make you feel like, oh my goodness, if only she could have just talked to him real quick.
Yeah.
She could have stopped it, which is true. She could have,
Especially at that point because like that was
and
the
if
first
her
time
and
they saw each
Maul-
other.
if her and Maul actually worked together, and they could have beaten Palpatine.
We need to do a what if
and-
story about that.
Dude, that's what I want so bad. Like the Marvel What If, but for Star Wars, dude. I want it so bad. So bad. It would be
like,
so cool.
It's not that hard. It's the same company. You can do it. It can
Just
be
do
animated.
it.
You don't need actors. You can make it animated. I don't care.
It'd be so good.
I don't know. I feel like we can make it
Oh my
decent.
god. Just all the little things that they could just do. There's so much potential. Like, what if Dooku stayed good? What if Qui-Gon didn't die? What if Anakin beats Obi-Wan? What if Anakin doesn't turn? What if, like, dude, you can do so many things.
Yeah.
What if Luke strikes Palpatine down? You know, like
Doesn't listen to Vader or Anakin.
there's an interesting theory that I'm hearing now that that Palpatine wanted Luke to strike him down so that he could take him over like he was gonna do with Rey.
Like he was
Very
gonna
interesting.
What do you mean he was gonna do with?
Remember,
Rey?
he wanted Rey to strike him
Oh,
down so
yeah.
that he would be
The
in her
Sith
forever
Eternal.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, imagine if that was what he was trying to do with Luke.
It could have been, but at
Right.
that point, I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't think he was
worried
dabbling in that yet.
about that. I think he was just so blinded in his like hatred for.
Also, another question for you. So you know how in Return of the Jedi, when Luke is in front of Vader and Palpatine, you know, on the Death Star,
Yeah.
at the end there, you know how he, you know, is about to strike Palpatine, but then Vader blocks him.
I have heard this. I do know.
So the question is, did Vader stop Luke to protect Luke, or did he do it to protect Palpatine? I think it's a little bit of both.
I think it was. I think by this point, he was already flip flopping pretty hard. I think by
He
the
was
time
very conflicted, yeah.
by the time Luke turned himself in on Endor, it was Vader was already kind of starting
Yeah,
to
he
fade away.
literally,
He was
he
starting to
literally
break
told
through.
Luke, he was like, "Let's work together and rule the galaxy together." He wanted to be bad
But
together.
I don't know if that was it. I think
but
it's too late for me, son. I think that was the point where it's like, okay, he's vulnerable.
that was Anakin talking right
Yeah.
there. But I think it was a little bit both. Like he was so conflicted. Like he didn't want Luke to have to do that, but then he was like he didn't know if he was still with Palpatine, so he was just kind of like stopping him. It was a whole thing, and then
I feel like it could have been a bit of a test too, because he could have been like, if he's not strong enough to, beat him or beat both of us for that matter, I'll block him and then it won't be a big deal for Palpatine. Or it could have been the other way around. It could have been like, if he does do it this way, then I still like saved Luke.
But also if Vader was really like Vader, not Anakin, if Vader was wanting Luke to rule with him, he would have let Luke strike Palpatine down right there. And
that is true.
Luke would have been consumed by the dark side fully if he would have done that right there. So, because it was just pure hatred in that swing. So that was Anakin. And now I'm changing my mind. I think that was Anakin.
I think you saying that changed my mind as well. I think that's totally right.
Because he was like, let's rule together, kind of like how he did with Padme. He would have let him strike that. He would have been fully consumed by the dark side at that point. They would have ruled together from there. So
another what if for you. Another what if. If Luke connected, then would Vader become even worse? Like, would he become like super bad, or would he turn immediately to Anakin and like fight Luke?
I don't think he would have fought Luke. I think they would have tried to rule together. But Vader. And there's also an interesting thing is, did Vader let Luke beat him? And I don't think he did. I think Luke just dusted him. Luke kind of dusted him a little bit.
But again, like, how old were they? Palpatine's over 100.
No, Palpatine's not over 100. He just looks older because of his scarring. Vader was not that old at all. He was only like 40.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Well, because he was 2 when he became Vader?
Yeah, he was young, man.
And Luke was like probably around there too.
Luke Anakin was 45. And then Luke,
I think he was like 20 something.
Luke was 22.
Yeah.
Oh no! Sorry. Luke was 23. Vader was 45. That's why Luke, like, he got pretty powerful in a short amount of time, and that's mainly because he's being trained by Yoda and Obi-Wan, but two, he's the chosen one's son. You know what I mean? He has the chosen one's blood in him,
and he has all of his limbs, minus his hand, but still.
But Luke, when they're fighting, him and Vader are fighting, he taps into the dark side. That's actually how he beats him.
I believe it.
I don't know if you've known that. It's he starts getting consumed when Vader mentions Leia.
Sister.
When Vader figures out that Leia is also his daughter.
Well, that's when he's swinging on him. Like when they after he lunges out at Vader. Vader like falls down and he's like blocking, and Luke's just like beating down on him.
Yeah, dude, the music was crazy.
And he cuts his arm off, and he realizes I'm an idiot.
When he cuts his arm off is when he comes back. And then one of the greatest lines of all time, "I'll never join the dark side." And he throws his lightsaber down, dude. And he's like, "I'm a Jedi like my father." And his father's right behind him, staring at him. It's so good, dude.
And Anakin's again, "Boy, you are stupid as hell."
It's like, my son gonna get himself killed. Oh my lord.
So be it. And then he just got...
It's so good. He's just getting electrocuted. Also, Luke didn't have all his limbs. He had his hand cut off.
I said that. I said minus his hand, but that's not a limb. That's a
whatever.
I don't know what you classify that as. A limb is a whole arm / leg.
We're gonna go ahead and just say it was a limb, all right?
We are not gonna do that.
An extremity.
It is an extremity.
But yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite fights too. It's so good.
It's a classic.
The music is crazy.
It's also good.
Really off topic. I don't even know what we were originally talking about. How did we get here?
How did
we start talking about Return of the Jedi?
Tales of the Jedi.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
But I really don't see how else we could have gotten, or what other Jedi we could have gotten, or we can
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess.
Whatever it is, it's gonna be good.
Or maybe it's new
You know,
characters.
Dave. Maybe.
Maybe we get some new
I
people.
doubt it though. But I love how Dave always would try to get George Lucas to say that Plo Koon could have survived. They
Does he
always have
really?
talked about it. And he's like, yeah, he would always be like, you know, he could have survived this, and he would give him all these reasons, and George would just be like, no. That's why he's never brought Plo Koon back, because he's never gotten permission.
That's fair.
He technically could do it if he wanted to, but he won't. He wouldn't do that.
I think he's dead. I think he's well dead. Yeah, we never see like him, but if you see him lunge forward and he's engulfed in flames, and then it pans out to a giant mushroom cloud, I'm pretty sure he is no longer with us.
Well, you see the plane crash, but we did see Kylo's plane completely, you know, do the exact same thing, and he walked out. So
yeah, that's also not canon. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. No, but I don't know. I don't think he's alive. I don't think he was alive.
I don't think he is either. But if George gives him permission, then I'm down for it.
Oh yeah,
because why not?
That's a different story. But again, something that
maybe we'll get some Plo Koon.
Maybe, but we got Plo Koon in the other one though.
It's Dave's favorite. It's Dave's favorite Jedi.
Is it really?
Yeah, he loves Plo Koon.
Oh yeah, because I guess he found Ahsoka.
Well,
or got Ahsoka. I guess.
No, he probably had that happen because he loves Plo Koon. That's not why.
True. I think about that. It was Clone Wars.
I remember watching the Star Wars movie for the first time when it first came out, the Clone Wars movie, and
oh yeah,
when Ahsoka comes down, she's like, I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. Obi-Wan's gonna have another Padawan, like that's crazy. And she's like, yeah, I've been assigned to you. I was like, no way, dude. There is no way Anakin had a Padawan. Something must happen to this chick. And now look at her.
You wouldn't make it as
like
Obi-Wan's Padawan.
But you might make it as mine. People are Dave Filoni. He told Ahsoka, he was like, listen, or not. He didn't tell Ahsoka. He told the actress that plays Ahsoka. He said, people are not going to like you at first, and that's okay, and that's how it's supposed to be, because you're gonna, you know, your character's gonna develop from this annoying kid into this, you know, powerful Jedi, and sure enough, she's like one of the most popular characters in Star Wars now. Yeah. The Ahsoka show, I'm super hyped for, dude. Hopefully we can get some.
What is that release date again? Is that
August?
So the next one, Visions 2 as well was just announced, I think.
Visions May 4th.
Yesterday. That's another good one. Just for like.
Huh? Today?
I thought so. I thought it got announced to like today or yesterday.
At least it got announced at Celebration.
Did it? I'm tripping because I saw it for the first time today.
We talked about it already on the podcast. Yeah.
I have what's called dementia.
Bro, yeah. Bro has CTE.
I never had a concussion though. Anyways.
Yeah, but that show isn't canon, but it's still
like
a cool watch.
It's just like visual.
Seeing different takes on it, yeah, it's cool.
And there's still good stories. These other ones were.
Yeah, I'm excited though for Ahsoka, because I really hope we get some Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson scenes, dude.
Because he has been confirmed as a cast for that, right?
Yeah, he was confirmed that he was gonna be in it, but every time they're asked questions about it, he pretends like he doesn't know what they're talking about.
I love that. I just love that like everybody finally came around.
Exactly, dude.
Like he was in
He's
tears.
in his Andrew Garfield phase right now.
Just like everybody's like, we're trying to show him like that should not have happened. We were just too young to have a voice.
Exactly. Everybody who's grown up with it is like the main fan base of Star Wars now, you know. So that's why there's a bigger appreciation for it. It was mainly like the people who grew up on the old trilogy that were kind of hating on it, because they thought like there's no way Vader could be this at some point, and it was like, yeah, he was a human being, you know.
He was
a normal person,
dude. He was a slave, in fact.
He was a kid with insane issues and a very heavy burden of being the chosen one, you know?
I mean, if you really trace her back, Watto was the one that made him Darth Vader. You really want to go back.
It was the sand.
It was.
The sand is what did it. Yeah. Losing his mom definitely pushed him in that direction.
Well, it was his first, like, encounter with the dark side, I feel. Just absolute manslaughter. And women and
because he was still
slaughter.
like a positive kid, you know, even as a slave.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of crazy. But yeah, back to the Mandalorian finale. Yeah, I thought it was good. Definitely looking forward to season 4, and then I'm definitely looking forward to all the future stuff in the Mandoverse, I guess you could say.
Mandoverse, what a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ahsoka stuff.
What do you
movie.
think? What do you think Grogu's gonna go there? Din Grogu's gonna go from here. Do you think it's
I
just
can
he's just gonna
definitely
be
see
like
him-
tagging along as like a comedic relief, or is he gonna be like an
No,
actual?
I think he's starting to take a central role in this. I think he's definitely going to end up being the leader of Mandalore, and he's going to be, you know,
I think I agree because
wielding the dark saber.
I sent you that thing. May have been a little far fetched, but it also makes sense. Like he like reached out to the Mythosaur because they were like, oh, there's something big and alive
I
under here.
definitely agree.
But then the other thing that
They definitely connected.
the other thing that I saw as well that I thought was like kind of cool was like he like took on a lot of Din's like mannerisms, like the nods and like the shrugs and all
He tried
that.
to say this is the way in one of the scenes.
Yeah.
When they were in Bo's ship and Bo and Mando were like, yeah, this is the way, and then Grogu was like like he tried to speak and they like looked at him like was he about to say something?
I did see that. I rewinded on him because I'm trying to figure out what he said.
And then the armor was like, you know, oh, he can't speak, he's too young or whatever, blah blah blah. That's definitely teasing that, you know, he gonna be speaking soon.
Oh yeah, they said
It's
that
gonna be
before
crazy.
too. They said that before because that was when they like were doing the whole thing with the Paz's kid. I think they mentioned that too. Then he just dusted him in that duel.
There's a theory that Axe that he adopted as his kid because of how they're standing when they're like in the scene where Bo lights up the forge.
Yeah,
and they're kind of like standing together pretty close. So some people are theorizing that he might have adopted him, which would be really cool because it was like
cool.
they had their differences at first, but then they kind of like, you know, came
Still
together.
respected that.
And then he adopts his kid in his honor and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. I already like him because he didn't die a needless death. You know, most people would be like, all right, I have to stay in here and guide this down. Like, no, you don't. Just set its course and then get out of there, dude. Like in every other thing, he would have died in there. But he was like, all right, it's coming down, shoots the window out and hops out. Like, thank you, bro. Did not have to die.
Yeah.
And then when the ship crashed, Grogu did the Kanan force. That was sick.
Just
You
like
just see that.
and I love to see that like in real time or like not real time, but like in real like what do you call it? I mean, it was all CGI, but like in live action.
In live
is what I
action,
mean.
yeah.
Like,
You actually can see the force.
yeah, exactly. You can see the bubble that he makes.
I love when you see that. Yeah. I think that was like our first time seeing the force like live action.
At least that good.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a good scene. Because at first they like kind of like surrounded Grogu and like just put up a little shield. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Grogu's like, I got this though.
The little knee slides too. That was the other thing he did. He did the knee slide.
Yeah.
Did you see that when he pushed him?
Yeah. People were like hoping he was gonna get shot to like show that his little plate was doing its job. I was like, you didn't need to see that to know it's doing its job.
Yeah, but I also did think it would happen because like he was given that piece of armor, but then it could have also just been like a foreshadow to him being adopted.
It's too predictable.
That's true, but that's a lot of what the season has been. To be
I
honest,
like that Din just ended up just shooting the gun when he was when Gideon was about to do that. He just shot it. he like was expecting it this time.
What do you
Whereas
mean?
because in season 2 he actually shoots, but then Mando jumps in front of it. In this one, Mando shoots Gideon's hand before he gets the shot off.
Oh,
this
yeah.
time, he like
But
was
he was
expecting
watching.
it.
I didn't notice
That was sick. The
I
back
didn't
and
notice that.
forth.
Yeah, no, it absolutely
Grogu pushes him, then pushes the staff, and then Bo
Yeah.
jumps in, and then Din jumps. That was sick, dude.
That and like the Praetorian guards too, like where Grogu's pushing away all the
Praetorian, yeah.
weapons. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
They were like trying to get him. He's just jumping around up there. I'm like, dude, it's like Yoda and Palpatine.
It was so funny. Like I could never tell if he was struggling or if he was just having fun.
He was laughing, bro.
Okay, that's
He
what I
was
thought.
definitely laughing.
That's what I eventually like ended on. I was like,
He
okay,
thought it
he's
was
got to be
funny.
laughing.
Is that you guys are supposed to take me out? No. I got generally concerned though for a second when they kind of cornered Grogu in there and then Din couldn't get to him. I was like, oh no. But then Bo came in, clutched up. Grogu's mommy.
Clutch your kick.
Yeah, clutch your kick.
Grogu's mommy. Does that mean Bo and dinner now? Like,
I don't know. They kind of showing signs of it, low key, a little bit.
he was simping low key on that on the boat.
And it was like, your song has not been written, so I'm still
I will
with
be
you.
here
I'm
until
like,
it's like, bro,
"Hey,
you need to get up.
you need to relax,
Get
my
your
boy."
money up. You have not had a job in forever.
Yeah.
Get your money up.
Hey, that's what he's doing now, though.
He is doing that now.
He's doing the bounties for him, and then I think the other guy gets the credit though. That's why it was like a win-win.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't like fully legal, I guess, because he wasn't like an actual New Republic hired guy. He's like, yeah, I want to be neutral, but I want to work for you.
Exactly. And hey, I was right about IG. I was so right.
I'm honestly
He's the marshal.
I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they did. Just guys like kind of like a side mission sort of thing.
It made the most sense.
It did.
Cause you don't have the other girl, I forget her name.
Yeah.
Gina Carano, you don't have her. And then Din's not gonna be the marshal because he's got stuff he's gotta do. And then, so boom, IG.
Makes
Easy.
sense.
And then they gave him the like colors.
The painting, yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
That was sick. He's got a
Good
crib.
episode.
He's happy.
He does.
A lot of land. Grogu's got a thing. They finally settled down from the first season.
Mandalore is back.
Mandalore is back. We are so back. I don't know. I feel like Mandalore has always been like a troubled world, so I feel like they're not done there.
Oh yeah, there'll always be conflicts, but
I don't know when though.
people pointed out in Rise of Skywalker at the end when there's like all those ships.
Yeah.
There's actually Mandalorian ships.
Like the fold up fighters. I forget what they call them.
Yeah, the ones that like Bo
sick.
uses.
Yeah.
There's those in them. So people are like, is Grogu the leader at this point? Question mark.
Oh. See, like that would be cool. That would be cool. I'm all for that. I'm all for like just those little hints of like. Even I know people are like, oh, the retconning the sequels. I'm like, if they do that, sure, go ahead. If they don't do that, make it a cohesive story. If they do that, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just those tiny little hints, be like, oh yeah, that little thing over there was like 4 seasons of another show. That makes it an actual story.
I'm thinking Grogu.
I'm thinking it has to.
Grogu's gonna be the leader in there.
Grogu's gonna ride the mythosaur, and it's gonna be a wrap.
Yeah, that's happening.
So then here's the thing.
Call
So
it
then
now.
if the Darksaber is in the Ahsoka show, like we said before, then we would have to see.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna happen in the Ahsoka show, but I just think that that droid is going to do it.
Just trying to think. I mean, we have like no background.
It shouldn't
about the
shouldn't
storyline.
happen in the Ahsoka show. 'Cause
It
that's
shouldn't.
just pulling a Boba Fett. Again,
It shouldn't.
But
And speaking of,
I just think
Tamora
he's-
Morrison was not very happy about all of that. That just got out. I think so. I
Yeah.
saw it was like an interview on some Melbourne, Australia, talk show, and he was saying like, yeah, Mando stole stole a couple chapters from my book, all this stuff, and he wasn't mad at like the actors. Obviously, he was mad at the higher ups, the Disney people that were like, oh, we need to have Grogu in this.
Suits.
Yeah, exactly. The suits. The Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, he thought he could escape the mouse out in Australia.
Nah, he ain't do that. But no, he was upset at that, and I definitely think he deserves his full book, his full short. I mean, because that was awesome. Like the callbacks and like seeing that side of the Tusken Raiders and stuff.
Exactly. Just go back and listen to my rant from last episode.
Yeah, but now we actually have like confirmation that like it got sabotaged, kind of. Not really.
I am that man, dude. I am that guy.
You were the interviewer.
I am that guy.
He is him. I can't predict anything else, right? But the random misconducts of the Star Wars life you got right.
Yep. It was just obvious. It just was weird. So.
It was.
But yeah, I'm almost done with Rebels season 1. So it's the shortest season.
I gotta start watching it.
So
again.
you gotta finish that up. Just binge that. It's 20 minutes each episode.
What did we say again? There was like 12 in each until.
There's 12 in the first season.
Oh, and then like regular like 23 or whatever. The others. 18.
So there is.
It's been so long. I was in high school last time.
14 in season 1.
A whole 2 more. That is crazy.
22 in season 2. 22 in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then 15 in season 4.
There's no. Why do I always think that show has 5 seasons?
I don't know if you tripping.
I am always tripping.
So yeah, I'm almost done with that, and then when you're done with that, we'll have an episode. It'll be a bonus episode. Won't be the regular weekly episode, but it'll be a bonus episode about a recap and talking about that entire season. And then we'll do that for each season up until Ahsoka releases.
It'll be a regular episode because we have nothing else to talk about.
Probably, maybe, yeah. We'll see. Well, we'll see. But
this is when I watch this in 5 years.
Yeah. So then we'll have that to lead up to Ahsoka, and then we'll be good to go and ready and have everything fresh, every little callback and everything we'll be able to figure out. And
I would like to find like a audio, not an audio book, but like a narration, I guess, of like the Thrawn trilogy as well before I.
Or hear me out. You just read it.
See, but here's the thing. I haven't read a book since 6th grade. It has been like almost 10 years since I've like read like an actual book. Like actually
the last book I read was the Game of Thrones book, the first one, and I still haven't finished it yet. I have like maybe 15 chapters left. But yeah.
No, it's been. I think like one of the last books I was like Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, when it came out.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that's been a while. It's been.
I never read those. Dude,
they were fire. The last one was insane.
I know.
Like the Return of the Titans or whatever. I forget the name.
I'm actually excited for that show coming out.
I forgot about that too.
That's good. That should be pretty good.
Anyways, in another universe.
But yeah, Lego episode is getting closer, ladies and gentlemen.
All these announcements,
Possibly next week, but no promises.
All these Lego announcements.
But it's getting close.
Dude, there's a $100 set with 2 ships in it. It's like a Mandalorian and like a TIE Interceptor, I think.
That's sick. The Mandalorian like dropship?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think so.
Because that's pretty cool. I would love for them to make a Bo-Katan dropship set with Bo, Din, and like Grogu in it.
They had one.
Sick. And R5.
They had one. I guess they still have one. I think it's still out. I don't think it's discontinued yet, but it's like the ones that we see in the show, and it is. Okay. I don't remember what minifigs come with it, but they are like of Death Watch. But I think it's of the Mandalorian time period. But I don't think we get Mando or anybody in it. Anyways,
interesting.
They
can make a lot of cool minifigures from the Mandalorians that we saw in the covert.
Yeah.
A lot of cool looking guys.
But the only way to like get those is if you buy like the UCS Razor Crest, which again is like $600. But you do get a
They
blurred.
should make they should do a minifigure pack of all those guys.
See, the thing is, people resell them because you can only get them in the $600 pack, and then like I would lose so much money.
Yep. Sadly.
That's okay though. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Yeah. Well, that does it pretty much for this episode. We didn't really have too much to talk about today, except for the finale.
No, keeping a regular time. We would like to keep it at an hour, but we've had a lot to talk about the past couple of days. Weeks.
I know. Probably get some Ahsoka news soon, and some possibly Tales of the Jedi Season 2 news. So
next weekend is after May 4th. So
that is true. We might get some info from May 4th.
We might get some special little tidbits.
Technically, this episode isn't coming out on the weekend. We kind of.
Oh no!
Kind of missed
two
that.
Weekends. 2 weekends.
No, you're.
Look again. No.
Oh
yeah. We have one weekend of the 29th, 30th, and then after that.
Not next episode, but episode 5. Episode 5 will be after May 4th, so that should have some new news in there. Hopefully, we get some stuff from May 4th. We usually get some sort of information or tease or something on May 4th. Usually.
I think Lego's got something playing going on. But
Lego,
all their new sets
get some
dropped May
Legos
1st. So I don't know.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. At least all the new ones that they have announced so far dropped May 1st. And they are on for pre-order. However, it could be a secret May 4th drop. I don't know, maybe like a UCS
you know
or
what?
Something.
An episode in the future that will be coming up for sure. We'll be talking about Jedi Survivor after we play that.
Mm.
So that comes out this weekend.
That comes out Friday.
It comes out Friday. Yeah. You can preload on the 26th. On Wednesday, you can download it to get ready, which I will probably be doing. So I'm excited for that game. That'll be a lot to talk about. We need Cal Kestis in live action, man. Make it happen.
Because he looks identical.
They just used him. He's an amazing actor too. Unironically, he's actually one of the best live action Jokers. Funnily enough, he was in Gotham, the show.
I didn't even know that.
And he's an amazing Joker. Yeah, like people were not expecting it to be good, and then he kills it.
He's the first Joker. He was the first Jedi Joker. You heard it here first.
Yeah. At first, it was hard for me to see him as a Jedi because all I was seeing was the Joker. And in that show, at one point, he staples his face back on. So he has like staples in his face.
Oh my God.
So that's all I was seeing. And then he just becomes a Jedi, and I didn't see the Joker anymore. But yeah, crazy and wild. Good show. But yeah, I think that wraps it up here.
That'll do it for this week's episode.
Look out next weekend for episode 4.
Sure. I think it's 4.
Probably.
Again, we have lost count already.
Yeah, I don't know how to count anymore. Anything with numbers I don't do anymore. I refuse. No math for me. What's today's date? Don't know. I don't use numbers. All I know, it's Monday.
April of some kind.
April something. I don't know. It's one of those days. When's my birthday? No clue. Somebody else will let me know, know.
Whenever I blow out the game,
no,
that's when the
no
birthday
numbers.
is.
Don't know how old I am. Have no idea, so. All right. See you later, guys.
Till next week.